Am I the only one that's tired of letting go? Am I the only one that's tired of surrendering? Right? I am tired of letting go of what no longer fulfills me. I am ready to receive. Like, that's kind of like where I'm at. I am tired of surrendering, and I'm tired of learning from pain and loss. Who's with me? Right? This is the vibe of the upcoming lunar eclipse, this full moon eclipse in the sign of Pisces, right? So this upcoming lunar eclipse in Pisces is happening at the 4th degree. And this part of the Pisces energy is about existing at your limits. You're almost existing at the threshold. And you're almost kind of, the universe is like edging you a little bit, right? You're on the edge of glory. You're looking at the bottom of this vast, vast, vast cavern, right? You're kind of the fool about to take a leap of faith. The energy of this lunar eclipse in Pisces is certainly kind of the Wheel of Fortune. It's certainly about the known versus the unknown, right? The ups versus the downs, the inhale versus the exhale, the release versus the restriction. And so this kind of Pisces energy at the 4th degree is really about accepting your limitations, accepting what you no longer can enact your will upon, accepting what you no longer can continue doing. And it's a bit of a sobering reality that comes through with this lunar eclipse in Pisces. This is a sobering reality. This is sobering clarity, right? So we frequently ask for clarity. We frequently want to be snapped out of any confusion. We want the answers, but what we don't want is sometimes the reality and the dose of reality that comes with the clarity that we have been begging for, that we have been asking for, that we have been searching for, all right? What if you do find the thing that you have been seeking, right? The energy of this lunar eclipse, I keep saying solar, and this is kind of why Mercury does not like to be in Pisces. Pisces does not like to communicate clearly. Pisces likes to communicate through riddles, prophecy, and visualizations, dreams, and vibes and intuition. Okay, and sometimes what this Pisces lunar eclipse is really going to be unveiling, because that's what full moons do, right? They bring and they illuminate and bring something into your awareness. And so this is going to bring up some of the things that we were learning when the nodes were still in Pisces and Virgo, and this is back starting at September 2024. But the reality is that this Pisces eclipse is kind of like a bit of am I like abandoning my success? Am I abandoning the things that am I abandoning the things that make so much sense, right? Because the reality is that not all who wander are lost. And so this week leading up to this lunar eclipse in Pisces, you may feel like you're wandering a little bit. You may feel like you are being called to withdraw and to step away from things that other people might say are reliable and stable, things that you've maybe spent time building and creating for yourself, right? But there may be a calling that comes through, especially for the mutable signs, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Gemini. You may be getting a calling this week throughout the rest of next week, because Pisces energy, eclipse energy is not one day only, right? These things happen in cycles, okay? Because this eclipse is happening at the 4th degree of Pisces, this is the first decan of Pisces, which is a Saturn-ruled decan. And this decan is associated with the 8 of Cups, right? And in the 8 of Cups, we understand this energy of dissatisfaction. And so that may be what is brought to your awareness this week, leading up to this weekend towards the full moon, right? As you begin to watch the moon grow, as the moon continues to gain in her light, this might become even more prominent. This is something where it doesn't need to be this dramatic realization, right? It's not as if on the day of the eclipse, you're going to be waking up and everything will have changed. With Pisces energy, especially the first decan of Pisces, we understand that very small changes suggest a larger transition, right? So it may not be that a situation that you're looking at, especially in regard to your Pisces Virgo houses, and these are really the axes that are going to be most influenced by this Pisces eclipse, right? So this is going to be Pisces Virgo, of course, and then Sagittarius Gemini. This is where things are changing, and that's what the mutables do. The mutables change. The mutables are in constant movement. This is where they are comfortable. So there is less likely to be this dramatic ending of a situation, and more likely that you need to change your perspective. You need to shift the way you're looking at the situation, and things will feel different. Things will look different because you are different. You are looking at it from a different angle and point of view. And so what happens with the Eight of Cups is that there is a structure that this individual is walking away from. And this individual is being guided by the moon in this card, right? Guided by the luminaries, right? This person is walking into the darkness. This person is walking into the unknown completely. This person is having to walk away from something that they literally built. And that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of guts. And this is also what you'll see surrounding this eclipse in Pisces. It's not just about surrendering, letting go, giving up. It's about having the bravery and the, guts and the audacity to do so, to give into the resistance, to give into the washing of the tides, to give into there could be even a sense of apathy with this full moon eclipse because, Pisces. And on top of this, we have Mars in Cancer applying a square to Saturn in Aries. And this is where motivation goes to die. I'm going to be so honest. This is where energy just straight up goes to die. The understanding is really that the emotional states that you want to be in are fleeting. They're not permanent ways of being. And that can be very frustrating to try to solidify a moment that is meant to be a moment. It is not meant to be something that is permanent and eternal, right? So with this eclipse, you might even feel the temptation of recreating moments from your past, whether that's involving other people. Preview of the Venus retrograde in Scorpio. Looking forward to October with you divas, because we will be in talks. We will be in conversation. I'm going to be with you every step of the way there because that's going to be a goddamn mess. This eclipse in Pisces, leave the fucking rat race. Give yourself an excuse to take a fucking hiatus. Be fucking MIA. Move in silence, right? Now is not really a favorable time to be announcing every single thing that you're doing. Some things need to be left in the shadows. Some things need to be left to the darkness. Some things need to be left with question marks. Some things are not ready to be shown. They're not ready to be known yet. They're too fragile. They're too malleable. They're too vulnerable right now. You are going to be feeling all those things as well. You're going to be feeling vulnerable. Right? You're going to be feeling maybe like a little bit of a wet blanket with this lunar eclipse in Pisces, especially my water signs, okay? Because what you've been leaning on, the things that are steady that you've been leaning on are no longer steady. They're being rocked. They're being shaken, okay? For you to walk towards a more spiritually heart-aligned path, because that is what Pisces is about. At the end of the day, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. And where is Jupiter right now? In the sign of the heart center, Leo. Okay, so the things that you think are so reliable and so stable and they make so much sense logically, maybe they need to be disassembled, maybe they need to be deconstructed, and maybe they need to crumble entirely, right? Eight of Cups, walking away, and maybe you walk away from a situation that's not necessarily complete because you are meant to experience more, because there is more for you left to experience. There is more to be lived and to be seen and to be loved. You are not actually at the end. That's the fucking illusion, is that it's an ending, but it's actually a beginning. But you need to quiet the noise down to be able to listen to that inner voice and what it's whispering to you. And you need to have the audacity to make decisions based off of that internal guided system. Welcome to the eclipse in Pisces. I'll see you on the other side.